Hello and welcome to the 11th video in this series for Beginners Programming Python 3. So in this video we're going to take a second look at lists. We got into them in the last video, and this one I want to look at something in particular called sorting, how to sort lists. Here there's a little bit of description and documentation of the list class, and then in particular this sort function here, which says it sorts the list in place using only less than comparisons between items, and exceptions are not suppressed. Okay. In other words, what this does is it sorts a list for us using the less than operator. So as strings, for example, would be compared with their letters alphabetically, numbers, obviously the numbers would be compared, and in place means the actual list itself will be modified directly. It says a little bit further down that it does it in place for economy of space, so it doesn't use up too much space by copying things and duplicating things because of the case of having large sequences. We can also use something called sorted, which is highlighted here, to get a new list representing the original list but sorted, but it's actually a second list. And this is a built-in function which is called sorted, which in terms of arguments into it looks very, very similar to sort. And we're going to take a look at both of those then in this video. The other thing to bear in mind is there are two arguments. One's called key and one is called reverse. Now reverse, I guess it makes sense by looking at it, says whether we want things in reverse order or not. The key allows us to customize what we're going to use for the actual comparison of the items in our list. And we'll have a very quick look at that in this video, but to have a more advanced look, we actually need to have written some functions first, and we haven't covered that yet, but I'll take a little look at that anyway in this video. So we're going to do all of this inside the Python interpreter, and the first thing I'm going to do is build a little list. And I have a list here of 5 names. So to sort this list, it's actually pretty easy. I'll start off by using the sorted function and just put sorted names. And what you can see now is I've got my list sorted here. Adam is first, Fred, Jim, John and Paul. We've been sorted in alphabetical order, but the original names list remains unsorted. The sorted function has given me a new list back. In fact, I'll say new L for new list is equal to sorted and names, and I can have my new list is like this and names is like this. These are at different places. If I look at the ID of new L, that's there in the memory, and if I look at the ID of names, you can see the numbers are a different, names list is in a different place. I can also use sorted to sort like we saw in reverse. So let me just flick back here and say reverse equals true, so we'll sort in reverse order, and now we get Paul, John, Jim, Fred and Adam. I want to sort in place. It's exactly the same thing, except I'll take my names list, use the sort function that we saw in the documentation, and just doing it like this will have now sorted my list. I can also sort the list then in reverse order as well. And now my names list has been sorted in reverse alphabetical order. And remember, this has now been done in place, so you can use sorted to get yourself a new list of your original list sorted in a particular way, and you can use the list itself .sort with reverse equals true or false then to get the reverse sorted list. I'm going to redeclare my list, and I'm going to change Paul, the letter Paul, to a capital. And now I'm going to have a look at the sorted in alphabetical order of names. And I get Paul appearing first on the list. And why is this? Well, it's because when the character comparisons are done, they're done using what are known as the ASCII values, so the numeric representations of each of the characters. So here I'm in the Python reference, brackets the right way, so it's on python-reference.readthedocs.io, and here is what's known as an ASCII chart. So it tells us the decimal, binary, octal, hexadecimal representation of various characters, symbols and things. And what we see down this list is that the capital P has the decimal value 80 and then the small a has 97. So when Python does a comparison, then capital letters are actually appearing before the lowercase letters in terms of their ASCII number, so they'll appear first on the sorting. And this is a bit annoying for us. We don't want this. I still want Adam at the front of the list. So how do I deal with this? Well, this is where I can use the key to do this. So what I can do is I'll say sorted, but now I'll use the key argument and say that I want to use the upper string function of string to compare the values converted to upper, which they'll all be then uppercase. And now when they're in uppercase, oops, I forgot to specify actually the the list itself. And now when they're in uppercase, then you'll see now that Paul appears as expected on the end, and actually exactly the same will happen if I use the lower as well. And this is one of the examples where key can be used to customize the way things are sorted. And like I said at the beginning of the video, we'll cover functions, and then we can have a look at a bit more customizable sorting of lists when we've learned how to write functions in Python. But for now then, that's it for this video. It's very, very powerful, but very simple. You have sort and sorted to be able to sort your list. Sorted gets you a new list. Sort sorts the particular list you're working on in place. So I hope that was all clear. If there are any problems or anything, as always, please, questions, comments, always welcome below the video. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.